Hello, viewers. What's your favorite scary movie? It might be Scream 6. Let's talk about it now. Hello, viewers. This is David Stark from Watch Your Past. I'm here to talk to you about the new film Scream 6 coming to theaters on March 10th, 2023. Okay. Ugh. Well, that mask was a little uncomfortable to wear, but you know what? It sets the stage. Let's talk about Scream 6. So, it is the newest film in the Scream franchise, the sixth movie in the Scream franchise, and I know you want to know, is this worth it? Is it a killer movie or a movie that should just die? Well, my hot take is, look, I definitely think you should watch it. This was just such a great update to the overall franchise. It had a love of the Scream films that really shone through, but it had a lot of really nice updates. It updated the setting, it updated some of the tropes, and the film just felt like a really great horror movie. So I definitely think you should watch it. It is way better than the last Scream movie, and also I think it's one of my favorites of the franchise. So I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the movie, a few things I liked and a few things I didn't like. There will be no spoilers in this review. I'll have a spoiler review up later, but this one will be spoiler free, so you don't have to worry about learning anything about the movie. So in Scream 6, we have the 4 survivors of the Woodsboro massacre. We've got Sam, Tara, Chad, and Mindy. They have all moved to New York. Now, Tara, Mindy, and Chad all go to college in New York, and Sam came along for the ride. She's there to help protect her sister and help, watch out for her. And it's going okay. So the notoriety of the Woodsboro murders has gotten to all of them, but particularly Sam. She lives kind of with the things that happened. She lives with some of the feelings that she had while those murders were happening. And also she lives with the notoriety of all these conspiracy theories about maybe she's the real killer, who actually was the killer of the Woodsboro massacre. It was all like a big plot that she did. And this is all kind of going on when around like Halloween time, some new murders start happening, and when these 4, along with their new friends who are now either body count or suspects, all get thrown into a new series of Ghostface murders. But now it's no longer in small Woodsboro, it is in New York. It's a bigger city with more people, and that generally just means more threats and more possibilities for the killer to jump out of. So, things I liked about this movie. The first, I liked the new setting. I liked how it felt different and a little bit more vibrant than some of the other movies. You had more people around. You had some kill scenes that happened in the city. You had some interesting dynamics with like the apartment and with transportation around New York and trying to get from one spot to another. It was a nice change of pace, a nice new place for this franchise to go. The second thing I liked some of the changes to the formula. It had some more modern aspects. I really liked how the film started out. The first kind of introductory kill scene did feel like a nice update. It felt different than what we kind of grown to know about how the Scream franchise starts out, how each movie kind of starts out. This one felt very different. It felt updated and it felt more in line with the city aspects of this movie. And the third thing I liked is the tension. This film has so much good tension. Scream 5 also had good tension, but it felt almost like manufactured, like they were playing with the viewers, which I still enjoyed. You'd have like a scene where they open a door and then they close it and you expect the killer to be there and the music blares and then it's not there. This film had more tension, but just really just well done. It wasn't necessarily tricks that were happening. It was that the film had scenes where you were legitimately concerned about what was going to happen. A lot of times when you were not sure when the killer was going to jump out, but it felt more organic than in Scream 5, where they really kind of ratcheted up through music and through like nice camera angles. This film, I felt like the tension was more earned and I guess believable than in Scream 5. The fourth thing I liked is the gore. Like, this is a Scream movie and it is very gory, and there is also a nice kind of like diversity in how the kills happen. There are definitely knife kills, but there are other ways that the Ghostface killer takes out his victims, and some of them were very brutal, and all of them felt very visceral. This film had a very visceral feel to it. And the last thing I liked is the ties to the previous films. This movie definitely had a reverence for the franchise, a reverence for the previous movies, and it really brought them in during this film. You had characters from the past come in, you had references to the past movies. This felt like a film that really tied a lot of the previous movies together and tied it together in a very smart way. So I definitely liked that also. Things I didn't really love. Look, not much. Like I said, I really like this film. I think it's definitely up there on my favorites of the Scream franchise. It might be my favorite so far. So these things are all minor, but there were some things I didn't really love as much. The first, and this is just a horror movie thing. There were some dumb horror choices that happened in this film, and you kind of have to have that. Like, things where someone will punch the killer and then they'll run. Like, why wouldn't you just get on there and wail on the killer, or get on, make sure that the killer is actually passed out? Why would you run away? But if they did that, it wouldn't be a very interesting movie. It does kind of make it so that the film can happen. You do have to have these dumb decisions to keep the pursuit going and keep the audience guessing. And the second thing I did not love is in Scream 5, there were these hallucinations that Sam had about her father, Billy Loomis. I didn't love that. I thought that was a weird kind of trope to have, a weird aspect to have. In Scream 6, they are still there. There are fewer, so I'm very happy about that. They're not as prominent. They don't happen as often, but they are still there, and I did not love that. I feel like that overall is a distraction and makes this film have a weird, underlying supernatural sense to it, when Scream isn't really about supernatural. And the last thing I didn't really love, and this is kind of in contrast to the thing I love, I did love the new setting. It did also feel like New York had moments, and especially like the opening scene I really liked. There were some fun plays on New York. There's a scene on the subway. There's scenes where they're trying to get from different places in New York. So I did like that aspect, but it also felt like the city didn't have as prominent a role. There were not as many like big open pursuits. There were a lot of the action, you replaced a empty house, or a house where people were alone with like an apartment where someone is alone. So there were changes, there were aspects that are unique to New York, but it also felt like maybe sometimes the city did fade away in some big scenes. But overall, again, not a major concern. So that is Scream 6. Like I said, I think you should definitely watch it. It comes to theaters on March 10th, 2023. And thanks so much for watching. If you liked this review, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.